everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. This time we're going to make a different version of slides. So I appreciate that some people do not have slide dies, okay? And I would be the last person to tell you to go out and buy anything else, because actually I'm going to be looking at ways to be able to create things that means you don't need dies. So that's why we made tickets without dies. So this is another one where I just want you to think out of the box. What can you do? How else can you make them? So we're going to make some slides. So here we have a slide that I've made. So this is no more than a few bits of book paper, and we're going to make some more of these. So the middle bit is it's a, now you can tell how old this is because Staples in the UK have been closed for, I don't know, probably about 8 years or something like that. So these are laminating pouches for business cards that I had. I bought a box when they were closing down. I think I got them for like £2 or something like that, and I got all of these. And then I thought, oh, okay, great, I'm going to get those out and I'm going to do something with those. And then I realised, oh, okay, so I have a laminator. I just don't know where it is. It's AWOL. So I'll tell you how I have done it. Now, it's not the best way, but I actually quite like. If you look at it, it looks a little bit grungy. And I use an iron. So I thought, well, what else heats up? An iron heats up. Let's try it with an iron. Now, obviously, you don't put an iron directly into contact with this. I actually used a piece of book paper and on the outer of a book and ironed it down so it stayed flat. Ironed it down, and yeah. So I've made a few. You know, you never make one, do you? You always have to make several. They do get. I will say, when you are ironing them, they go a bit. They get a bit staticky, and then everything's clinging to you, including the book page. Here's another one here, another one here, another one here. Okay, so we're going to make something with those. But if you don't have a laminator, don't go out and buy a laminator, for goodness sake. Don't go out and buy laminating pouches either. If you've got some larger laminating sheets, then use large laminating sheets and just make lots of little things and cut them up when it's done. But use photos. So these are some sneak peeks, because these are, excuse me while I clear my throat, sorry, I just grabbed my mic. This is one of the watercolours from my summer watercolour kit, which isn't out yet, but it's coming soon. And then this is one of my Easter like Easter bonnet things. That again isn't out yet, but will be coming soon. So these are some just some photos. So think outside of the box. Don't think it's a slide, so it has to be a slide. So think differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one with you. Okay. So I found the pages that I wanted to use, because some of the pages have got more text on than others. Oh, that's got a bit of music. I like those. Oh, I've ripped it, never mind. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to cut off the bits that we don't want. So I don't want the boring white bit, or plain bit, it's not actually white. So I did have my blade out, I got it ready, but oh, that was nowhere near the line. What you do when you don't concentrate. And then all I did was I literally used the width of my ruler. So, but if you want to measure, you can measure, but why measure if you don't have to? And then just use the width all the way along. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight. The beauty of it, you could also tear them. So let's take those off. So you could just tear it down, and then you have more of a torn edge on it. We'll do some of those. So I'm going to tear the other side off, otherwise it won't be a torn edge, and you'll be able to see what I mean by the torn edge. But yeah, you just need to think differently. You shouldn't think, oh no, I wished I could and don't have that. Think, how could I make my version of that without having that? and that's what I like to do. So we need to be more frugal these days because we have other things to spend money on which keep the roofs over our heads, etc. So I'm just going to cut these down, snip these bits off at the end where the text stops. Get rid of those bits. I mean, you could keep them, but I'm not going to. Trust me, I've got enough rubbish. Sorry, book pages. So this was just a quick make. Let's make some more. So all I did was I folded them over on themselves. So I just did that with all the pieces that I'm going to use. And they don't have to be accurate or straight or perfect, or, you know, they're just folded over. They're not. You can see that I'm not taking any time to line them up. Just make sure that you separate them all. Otherwise you have less than you actually, otherwise you think you have less than you actually have if you don't separate them all. And then what I didn't do on this, but I think I will do this time, is I'm just going to ink them. Sorry, my chevron punch wants to get in on the action. Clearly it feels a bit left out. I'm not using you today, so just stay back. Stand back, people, stand back. Okay, let's get, well, whatever comes to hand, which happens to be ground espresso. So I'm just going to do a bit of light inking down the edges. Just, I think the reason why I want to do this, I think you'll be able to see better what I'm doing with it if I kind of just give it a bit of an ink. I mean, like, you know, you've probably already guessed, but for those people who are still sat there thinking, I don't understand, please somebody tell me what I need to do, then this is me telling you what you need to do. So, or what you could possibly do, because what you need to do is do your own thing. Maybe I'm just going to give you some inspiration, and that's all that matters, is a bit of inspiration. We all spend hours trawling through videos trying to find a bit of inspiration, and I just hope that for some people out there I'm providing you with some inspiration, because at the end of the day we all crave it. So I'm just going to ink these. So talk amongst yourselves while this happens. There we go. See, it would have gone like that for you, but like for me, it took forever. Anyway, so now we've got these all inked up. Let's just take one of these. So all I did was I positioned it on one side, and you can go fully into the crease, or you can have it sticking out, however. But what I did have is a bit of an overlap, and that means that when you put the bit going across the top, it doesn't just stop and you don't end up with a gap, if you see what I mean. If it was, let me just take a piece that isn't inked so you can see what I mean. If this was down to here, and then you've got this going across here, you might potentially see that corner there. So I like it to go up a little bit, and then I'll either snip it off or tear it off or whatever, and I'm going to cut it at where it says S-C-E-N, sen. Oh, I guess it's seen. So I was just going to cut that off, and then obviously you might not see this bit, but we'll do that. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. So let's just do another piece that's exactly the same size. Again, cut it off. Ink it. That's either side. Then we've got, and then we're going to do the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a bit of a guess about where the top's going to be. See, and I might. Yeah, okay, now let's glue it first. So because you glue into plastic, I prefer to use an acetate based glue, so that's something like 3-in-1 or Kalal or a mixture of the two. This is actually a mixture of the two, because what happens with 3-in-1 is it starts to, when it evaporates, it goes really thick, and it's already quite thick, and so then when you put your Kalal in with it, the Kalal is much thinner, and so that helps it to be a bit thicker, if you see what I mean. And if you don't, then probably like thousands of other people that don't ever understand me, that's fine. But, you know, hey, I am what I am. So, illiterate. No, I'm not illiterate. Just not always able to speak. So, do this side as well. Again, with that little overhang. And I know that I'm not going to go all the way into that crease. I'm just going to have it so it sticks out a bit. Obviously, straighten it up or leave it wonky or however you want it to be. Okay, and then we're going to take this. I'm going to put this into here. Yep, and we're going to come off. We're going to come off there. And then maybe we'll get that one on there. We will indeed. How fabulous is that? So do this. Just snip that off there. Okay, so that's, for some reason that's already stuck down. It's obviously stuck to the stickiness on there. Let's ink that very end. So again, just giving it a good coverage, except for Dave, don't put it on the outside because that's ridiculous. Everybody wants glue on the outside. It's really sticulous, not ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't think it was funny either, so it's fine. If you didn't laugh, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I really want somebody to develop non-stick glue. I mean, that's called water, Dave. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean non-stick glue. I mean glue that doesn't stick to me. It sticks to everything that I want it to stick to, but doesn't stick to me. Wouldn't that be great? Intelligent glue. And there you go. There's another one. So another little slide to go with my other slide. Okay, might just ink that other slide because I feel it's a bit left out. In fact, I'm just going to go full on inky, grungy inky. Go. Cool. Okay, so let's do one with a photo. Let's do one with a photo and some of the torn paper. So again, we're going to fold it over. Okay, we might just ink down this edge as well. Although we could do that afterwards. I'm going to put that in there. So these have just been printed off that little mini printer that I've shown you before that Vic bought me for Christmas. So he's a good chap, you know, looks after me, knows I'm a crafter and knows I like random strange things. Besides him, I don't mean just, I'm not talking about him. Although he is random and strange. Strange in a good way, you know, strange in the way that I'm strange. So, people are strange when you're a stranger, apparently. If you're the Lost Boys, apparently. So, no, Dave, you don't want to do that. You want to do that. A similar sort of size to that. Let's just tear that one this time. There we go. Cool. So, just going to stick this down on one side. Again, because it's a glossy photo, I'm going to use this glue. I mean, like, you know, I don't see any reason why the other one wouldn't stick, but I know that this is designed to stick to a variety of different surfaces. Let's stick that down there. And if you wanted to, you could always have like the bottom. You could have a bigger bottom. There aren't many people that want a bigger bottom, but you know, if you want a bigger bottom, no. If you wanted a bigger, you know, wider bit at the bottom, there's absolutely no reason why you can't have a wider bit at the bottom, because you're not using a die, so you're not restricted, are you? So you're not restricted by anybody else's. Oh, is that lucky or not? Oh, that's right, lucky that. I'm happy with that. Right, lucky. I've lived in Yorkshire too long. Picked up the lingo. Okay. Make sure that that's all in there. It is. Fabulous. Will this piece fit there? Will it? It blooming will. Blooming heck. Right, cracking that, isn't it? Cracking. That means good, by the way. Cracking. Oh, it does if you live in Yorkshire anyway, so. And the UK, I think. There you go. That's another one that we've made. In fact, I'm going to ink that more down the edges now. And you know what I'm going to do next, don't you? You absolutely know what I'm going to do next. And if you don't, well then who are you? Get out of here. I am going to use a bit of file folder, because why the devil not? Right, so let's do one of these and one of these with a file folder. So which one do we want? I think I might go for that one. Oh, I don't know. This one or this one? Oh, no, I'm going to go for that one. Let me get myself a bit of file folder. I think again we're going to go for the torn look, but I'm going to use a bit of control tear, because this doesn't always tear the way that you want it to. So I'm not going to worry about the straight lines. In fact, I'm going to make it unstraight. And we're going to again try and make it a bit same width as the ruler. Right, just go for one more. I don't think I'm going to need it all. No, I want that, Dave, and that, not that. Okay, so this time we're going to straighten that edge up. About there. Let's fold that over. Right, this time I'm going to use bone folder just to make that crease better. And then we're going to distress it. Might use some vintage photo this time. Well, I might use some vintage photo if I can. I'll just use the bottom of this, that's fine. Again, just inking along all of the bits. I shall speed this up for you though. Cool, so there we go. It should be back with me now if I've edited it well. So it's going to be Oh, which one? Yeah, what was it? This we were doing? I can't remember what we were doing now. We were doing that. We were doing this, weren't we? That's right. Fine. I think I did. Did I get these right? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so we're going to use this like this. We are. So I'll stick this down. Got confused about what I was doing. That's not the first time. It won't be the last. Stick that down there. Somewhat evenly, Dave. And then do the same on there. And like I say, I like this is not quite perfect because it's got bubbles in it and things. I will try and find my laminator. It's in the basement. Anybody that's ever gone down into the basement, well, I've never seen them again. So like, is there anything that goes into the basement? Definitely, it doesn't got a will of its own. So people can try and find their way out, whereas the laminator can't find its own way out. People go down into the basement, never be. Oh, that sounds a bit like I'm an axe murderer. I'm not. I will just point this out. However, the it's a fact that, you know, it's quite packed down there. Is my cellar. I really desperately need to sort this out. It's one of those things that it's just such a mammoth task. Anybody that's ever tried to clear out their cellars will know. You know, it's that out of sight, out of mind mentality, isn't it? You put it all in the cellar, and then, like, you know, you don't see it. You don't have to see it every day, and then you forget it's there, and then you just go, "Oh, I'll put this in the cellar," and then you go down into the cellar, and you think, "Yeah, no, that's not going to happen." And it's got to that stage now where I've got to get it sorted. I want to be able to have the cellar as a more of a messy craft area. So if I want to do anything that's like painty or paint flicking or acrylic paint or anything like that, then that's the area to do it in. And also have it as a bit of a backup store for everything up here. But at the moment it's got everything in there. Still stuff from when I was sorting my kitchen out, so, and it's been 2 years since I did that, so yeah, I need to sort it. I know, you don't need to tell me off. I know how naughty I am. I live with me, remember. There we go. So that's another one made. So I really like them. I think they look very rustic. I mean, you could of course stick them in a different way, so maybe that's what we do this time. I might just do it with a green rather than, let's tear that there. It's a similar sort of length, so that's fine. Tear it down, and then might need a bit more file folder. That's fine, we can do that. We're gonna. I'm not a gonna. Just roll that in. Okay, so a bit of an idea about how big it is. Is this going to be long enough? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So this time I might just a very small smattering of blue on the edges. This is Uncharted Mariner on here. Cool. Yeah, so I like that. Don't look, my fingers are getting really sticky now. Okay. So let's pull in all of these bits, and we might just do one more, and we're going to do it just as a standard book page. So, in fact, we're going to do it. Are we going to do it as a book page? Yes, we are. Or are we? No, let's do it as a piece of another piece of file folder. This time we're going to use a blue one. So this is a bit of blue. Definitely looks more junk journal-y from my point of view anyway. And so, because I want it to be a bit bigger at the bottom, maybe I'm going to go... maybe not like that. I don't know what that is stuck to it. Bit of something else. Let's tear this edge. There we go. That's hold it over. It's not quite perfect, but we don't care because we're going to put it that way around, and it's not going to be as noticeable that way. Yep. So we'll glue that down. All of this is building up to the utilitarian file that I'm going to be making with all of the ephemera this way. Then you don't have to wait weeks while I make ephemera for it. You watch me make all the ephemera in advance. There you go. So that's it with a bit of a wider bottom to it. Wider bottom. Got what nobody else wants, a wider bottom. So I'm just gonna, not one of those. I'm just gonna pull all these bits together. Get my little tidy tray. Put them into there. Cool. Well, now you could always make, stamp over it or something like that. In fact, I might give that a go. To be exactly the same. Maybe a different stamp would be a good idea to make it not exactly the same, but I don't have a different stamp to hand, so I'm going to do it like that, and then I'm going to do it like that, and maybe that's what I should do with that bit there. And I don't know, let's take it off and do a bit of random stamping. There we go. Wrong way up. There we go. Put that away. So there we go. We've got some more I can do, but we've got, this is a photo style one. We've got the original prototype one. That was a bit wrinkled. That's the reason why it's kind of not lying straight. We've got the Easter bonnet one, we've got the other book page one, and then we've got the file folder one. So there you go. So another way to do some slides. So there is no excuse. You don't have a die. So no excuse. All right, don't want to hear that. Thank you. We can do anything. You can do anything. I believe you can, and you can. All right. So without further ado, I will say goodbye. So thanks very much for watching. Obviously, I shall move all of these out of the way because then people can see what I'm talking about. You want to email me? You can email me. Suggestions, just a chat, requests. I don't know. I'm not a DJ. I can't do requests for you. If you want to buy me a coffee, please feel free to buy me a coffee. Any kind of like support, financial support, is obviously gratefully received, but not expected. And you can do the same on Ko-fi as well. So I know some people prefer Ko-fi because it takes PayPal. Thank you anyway. Thank you for watching. Please give it a like and a thumbs up. I'm going to be doing some more slidey things coming up soon. I've got a couple of prototypes I'm working on for things that I've not seen anybody else make. So and I haven't seen anybody make these, but like you can make slides. It's not like slides are a new thing. So anyway, enjoy. So thank you very much for watching. My name's Dash of Dave, and remember, I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and don't give me any of that I can't, because you can. Everybody can. There is creativity in us all. Go and make something. All right, take care, folks. Love to you all, and big hugs, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.